Hello everyone, in the past few lectures we learned a lot about calculation context in DAX. Now it is time for us to talk about the implicit context in visuals. So let's look at an example first. Here we are in the DAX Essential Workbook and we're going to create a measure first. So the measure is going to be real simple. It's the total sales measure that we are very familiar with. After the measure is created, just drag and drop it on the canvas. And let me zoom in a little bit and also turn this into a table. Okay, so we have mentioned before that measures are dynamic. And now you're seeing total sales of $10.2. If we add the product breakdown to the columns, you can see that the measure breaks apart, and for insurance it's showing $5.2, for investment it's $5, and for total it's still $10.2. It seems to be making sense to us because that is what the data shows. If you view it in the table view, you can add up the numbers and you can see for insurance it is $5.2. But exactly how is this working on the back end? That's what we're going to talk about in this lecture. But before that, let me show you can actually add more breakdown than just product. What if you use the product rating breakdown in addition to the product breakdown? Now you have three rows. The total sales measure changes again. So for insurance with product rating equal to A, now it's $1. For insurance with product rating equals to B, now showing $4.2. And for investment, there's only one rating C, and it's showing $5. And again, total sales is still $10.2. So all these seems to be very intuitive, but it's important for you to understand what exactly is happening on the back end. Let's take a look. So in this slide, you can see we have this sales measure. This is calculate sum of sales amount. And we're gonna look at this cell. So the value for insurance product. How is this calculated? Because you're breaking down by insurance product, you just do something like calculate, then you put the name of the measure that we created, that is sales, over here. And then you just add a filter. So you're gonna filter on what? On the table that this product column comes from, which is simple table. And then you're gonna add the product column, and you're gonna set the value to insurance because for this row, it is showing insurance product. And then you compile the whole calculate function, you evaluate it, and you're gonna get the result 5.2. That's how DAX does it on the back end. Everything happens automatically, so it's implicit context. You don't have to write it in your measure, it's automatically created for you by DAX. Let's look at investment as a practice. For investment, it's just gonna do sales again using this measure here, but this time it's gonna filter on the value equal to investment because for this row it sees that the product value is equal to investment. So it changes the formula to product equal to investment, evaluate it, and then you find out the answer is $5. All right. For a slightly more complicated scenario, here we have by product and by product rating breakdown. So there's nothing fancy going on. What you do is just filter on two conditions. So product equal to insurance over here, and also product rating equal to B over here. Then you only have one row in the source data, and then you take the total sales, it shows $4.2. So that's kind of how it works in the visuals. Next time you see the dynamic nature of the measures, then you can think in your head that actually on the back end, DAX is automatically creating that implicit context for you and wrap your measure inside that implicit context. If you're wondering, what if you don't want that implicit context? Well, don't worry, because in DAX, there are ways you can modify the implicit context. You can expand or shrink the context as you need. And we will talk about them in the advanced section for the DAX formulas. So stay tuned, and I will see you in the next lecture.